Okay. Here's some geeky stuff. Write this down. Remember, you get access to the PowerPoint. When you're doing a podcast, you have to set your MP3 at certain settings that are called resolution. And the standard podcast FM quality is 22.5 sample rate, 56 kilobits. The reason you do that is that on broadband, that baby is going to stream just fine, and it's going to sound almost like FM radio. Now, you used to make it even a lower resolution for dial-up, but we don't worry about dial-up as much as we did.
We don't worry about dial-up as much as we did. Those of you, who's a TNR member? Okay, just posted an article in TNR about the fact that in November, all home internet users in the United States went over 75% access to broadband. So we worry about people on dial-up, we worry about why they're not getting broadband, and we don't really worry about them much more than that. Here's the thing, because you got to go where the majority of the market is. But here's the thing, no matter what, and this is something I learned from Mike, and this is the God's honest truth, because we were streaming audio over dial-up 4 years ago, and people were like, how are you doing that? Literally, I had people saying in the outback of Australia, how are you able to make audio that sounds good and streams instantly over dial-up? And the answer was a really, really, really good microphone. Because what happens is when you record it at a great quality, the best quality, when you dumb it down and make it crappy, it's still a good crappy. But if it starts out crappy, it gets really crappy. And people, it sounds horrible. This is exactly why I made an investment at a time when, 4 years ago, I wasn't, making a lot of money. It was a significant investment, but it was the best investment I ever made. The best microphone in the world for the money is this one right here. And this is what makes all of this stuff rock and roll. This thing's pretty good, and using the light snake's pretty good, but my money's still on this box and this microphone, just my 2 cents. I'm telling you from my own personal experience. I don't teach anything that I have not done. I don't suggest anything that I haven't used. I mean, who knows that about me? I mean, that's the real deal. I own 3 of these. I have 1 at each house that I have so that I can do this, and have all the equipment there. But, I mean, this thing's nice, and there's a way to get started, but this thing actually is better. But it all starts with a kick-butt microphone. Right.
But I don't want somebody to think, well, if I don't get expensive or the most expensive equipment, that I just need to ignore this. The message here today is, I know this is going to be huge opportunities. And if you stick your head in the sand and say, well, I don't ever want to learn it, that's fine. But you're here to learn internet marketing. You're here to learn to build love and trust with people who have never met you. I mean, I've got case studies that I'll get to at the end of this presentation that still baffle me. People that I don't know call me up and say, yes, I'll spend thousands of dollars with you, because they feel like they already know me. People have come up to me here at this event already and know me from my video blog. I mean, it's niche celebrity. And niche celebrity is good because it can build you a business, and then you can go back into obscurity, where, you're just the next guy down at Walmart. It's a great thing. I wouldn't want to be nationally famous like a Brad Pitt.
I had a guy, this is true. That ain't gonna happen, Mike.
I know.
I had a guy at the Williamsburg, at the Lightfoot post office. Duke's my buddy from Williamsburg. He abandoned me, moved to Phoenix.
Because he could.
I had a guy approach me in the Lightfoot post office and go, "You're Jim Edwards. I'm one of your affiliates." Freaked me out. I didn't like it at all. I'm like, is there security cameras in here? I mean, I just wasn't ready for it. But, other things, great things happened. About 3 years ago, Mike and I did a multimedia workshop. Was anybody at our multimedia workshop? Duke was there. Were you at our multimedia workshop in Williamsburg? No, we did one in Williamsburg. I mean, we've done them since. We did one in Williamsburg, and a lady literally came climbing through the bushes in the restaurant going, "You're Jim Edwards, I recognized your voice."
Yeah, 3 years ago, that was a big deal.
And I was like blown away by that, but that's what can happen. And here's the thing, You don't have to be famous to the whole world. What this enables you to do is to be famous to a niche audience. And that's all you got to be. It's all you got to be. And they just got to know, they got to know you, like you, and trust you, and this is the fastest way to do it. The blog is going to create a dialogue for you, and people being able to hear you and see you is what's going to make the difference.
All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do Jim's tip for Mike of the day. Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
What? What's the topic? That's important to know. What's the what audience are we aiming this at?
One tip for an audio podcaster, something that he could do that he would get benefit from. I'm thinking about audio podcasting, and what's one thing I could do tomorrow morning that I could see a benefit from over time.
Okay.
Okay, and that's what I'll ask. So you hit record, you hold the microphone up. When you see the flashing red recording, that lets me know that I'm going to edit that out. Hey, it's Mike Stewart, and it's the Mike Stewart Podcast with Jim Edwards, and Jim is going to give me the Mike Stewart, Jim Edwards tip of the day. Do it, Jim.
Hey, Mike, one thing I'd tell you, if you want to be an effective podcaster and you want people to get caught up in your message, is to speak 20% faster than you would normally talk in a conversation, because that rapid rate gets people paying attention because they don't want to miss anything. So there's your tip, Mike. Speak about 20% faster than you would normally, and you'll suck people in like a vacuum.
And as I always say, do it today.
Now that was a real tip. That's a real tip.
When you see the flashing red recording, that lets me know that I'm going to edit that. Okay, so I can highlight what's bad.
Now, can you imagine a week of this on the high seas with
Suck
no
people in
escape?
like a
Vacuum. Because that was the
And
Jim
as I always
boat.
say, do it today. So, now this is the bottom end of the spectrum of podcasts, but it is real content. You gave a good tip. You know, most podcasts are, can be 5-10 minutes, some half hour, some guys, Adam Curry does 45 minutes. Hey, it's your network, it's your radio show. Do what you want. No, there's no FCC saying you have to do an hour show 24 hours a day if you want to broadcast. No, you can broadcast when you damn well feel like it. That's what I do. If I ain't got nothing to say, I don't do nothing.
See, if I say anything, it just keeps it going.
All right. So now, I am saving this to my hard drive as an MP3 file. Now, we said earlier in the presentation, it should be at 50, I got it in. I have created a template in here that's called Web Buttons and Downloads, or Stereo Podcast, Mono Podcast. There it is, 2422. That's just, SoundForge allows me to preset those settings that make it compatible for the lower resolution. Right now, it recorded it at what's called CD quality, and now it's going to save it.
Now, stop. Let me ask you a question. Do you have videos that show people how to use SoundForge, right?
That's correct, Jim.
Are they getting those videos?
Of course they're getting access to those, Jim. This is the Jim boat.
This ain't the Jim boat. Get off the boat. Are we in Cozumel yet?
I don't know. Where's the bar? Okay, I'm going to call this Jim Mike Podcast 1.
But wait, Mike, before you save it, may I ask a question? I mean, I'm being totally serious.
Okay.
Would you, before you save that at podcast quality, would you first save it at CD quality in case you ever wanted to go back and burn those on a regular audio CD?
Absolutely, Jim. I am so glad because I was so excited to get to the podcast element, I totally forgot probably the number one thing that we teach, and you're exactly right. Yes, I would save a CD quality version of it first. And that is what's called 44.1 16-bit. That's all in the tutorials that you're going to have access to. So anyway, we save it. And now I'm going to save another file at the lower resolution, which is the 2422 geeky stuff here.
And your videos show people how to create their own templates so that they can have web streaming.
You bet your Bobby there.
Okay.
You got it, buddy.
Thank you.
Podcast final. I'll just name it that. So now, all I have done, hey, it's Mike Stewart, and it's the Mike Stewart Podcast. I have saved an MP3 file. That MP3 file is sitting on this laptop. Now, what we have to do is we have to upload it to the blog. That's where another piece of software that I created Well, I didn't really do it. I told somebody who knew how to create it that this is what I wanted.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes, sir.
Did we need to edit something off the end of that?
I have already done that, John.
You have?
Yes. Oh, where were you?
I was telling jokes.
That's right. So this software says, where is your MP3 file? So it lets me go, it's right here, and it's called, number one thing about computers, remembering where you put stuff. And there it is, Jim Mike Podcast Final. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm finding the file, and I'm telling it to go next. Can you do this? Then I tell it, here's where the blog I want to put it on, and I hit next. You can see I'm doing this with one hand. Then I tell it where to put it, and I hit next. And then I hit next again. And then, whoa, we got a good connection speed here. Wow, it's already up on the internet. Now, I hit copy that link to clipboard. Bam. Can everybody do that? I did it with one hand, behind my back. You can too. Okay, then, you remember when we went through all that gobbledygook to set up a well, I got to remember my username and password, admin, and hey, Explorer, remember my password for me. Also, you can use RoboForm from roboform.com. RoboForm remembers passwords. I should have it on this machine. I don't. But that's okay. I just use the same password over and over again. If I ever told it to you, you could ruin me.
I know it.
That's why I'm scared. Okay, now I'm in the control panel. I'm in the Star Trek of my blog. Okay, so I'm going to write a post. I hit the write button. That means we're going to write something. And the server has to respond. And it says, hey, what's the title of your posting?
Now, one thing about this, and I learned this from a friend of mine who's a very good expert on the subject of blogs. One of the things that you always want to do in your blog posting, if you are going after a niche market, try to use your niche keywords in the titles of your posts and close to the beginning of your the post body itself. Don't go crazy with it. Don't be, so if it's dog training, it's not, dog training post about dog training. Dog training enthusiasts need to find their dog training information right here at dogtrainingtips.com. No. Okay, but just, that's just one little tip. And then the other thing, when you're setting up your blog, when you're setting up over here on your right, the categories, if you use your keywords in the names of the categories, that will help you out big time. So if you have articles and it's a dog training blog, the category name should be what? Dog training articles, not just articles. And those are little things. And actually, he and I made some videos about that, which I'd be willing to donate to the cause here for your project.
Yeah.
So I'll get those over to Mike, and then he'll get them, when he sends it out to you.
Well,
I guess
it's already posted. I'll just add it to the posted page.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I typed a title up there. That required typing and spelling. That's a difficult thing for me, but I got through it. Mike and Jim podcast about talking fast. It is Mike and Jim from, and one of the things that's pretty cool about this, when you type in a web address, it makes the hyperlink. You don't have to know how to do that. You type in www.yourwebsite.com, and it makes a little blue underlined clickable link. Then when you get the PodPress plugin, it says podcasting here. And it says, add media file. Ooh, well, I'll click on that. And then this whole little box opens up. And it goes, location, Atlanta Airport. No, that don't work. You go over here to My Software and copy to the clipboard. And it remembered the location so that when I hit paste, it goes, whoa, that's an MP3 file. Cool. You hit this button, you hit that button, and you hit publish.
Well, tell them what those buttons did, though.
It gives you the geeky stuff you need to do to make it work.
Okay. It figured out how long the clip was, and it figured out the size.
Now, that's it. We have just podcast that wonderful show. If we go to the blog, there you can see. And it's like, that's a template, that blue and all that stuff. I didn't design it. In fact, hey, if you don't like the look of that website, you can go back in here to the themes. I love this about WordPress. You go into presentation, this tab at the top, and you go, hey, let's try that theme right there. All right, and I just changed, now you can see the whole website's completely changed because you can have hundreds of themes in there, and your content stays intact. And you see this little button right here? That gray button right there?
Hey, it's Mike Stewart, and it's the Mike Stewart Podcast with Jim Edwards. And Jim is going to give me the
That's coming
Mike
off the
Stewart,
internet.
Jim Edwards tip of the day.
That's a podcast. That's it. Video blogs. The same process that we got an MP3 audio file of content, audio content, the same process is how you get it in the blog for video. But guess what? You got to make video content. That means you got to hear something and you got to see something. Okay. Well, I don't do Jim's voice. When am I supposed to do? Is that pretty good?
That's not my voice. I'm making fun of someone else.
Oh, okay. So,
I don't know where to get the video content, Mike. Show me. Well, okay, I'm going to right now.
You can record and edit and assemble in post-production. The same way we took chunks of audio, everything correlates. Or we can actually just get in front of the camera and talk to people. That's a way. We could do a quick video blog of like, hey, it's me again. But I think, and my belief system is that when you try to make it more like real television, which has 5 elements that people don't think about. Number 1, it has moving pictures. Number 2, it has narrative sound. Number 3, it can use music for underscoring. That's what I did for 20 years in this town, was take television commercials and ad agencies say, make it bluer. Well, is that blue enough for you, you know? No, where's the blue knob? Well, it's right here. I just turned it all the way. Music, sound effects, images, and bullet points of text. You've got 5 things that you can bombard people with in video. If a picture says 1,000 words, a 1-minute video can say 10,000 words. I can shoot a video of this.
Wow. That's some good moonshine.
Write that in a paragraph.
I want to make
Convey that in a paragraph.
One little comment, and I should have seen everybody writing down those 5 things. I saw a lot of people not writing down those 5 things, and these are 5 very important elements. So I'm going to ask Mike to repeat those, and I want to see everybody who didn't write down the 5 elements last time
I was just kidding.
Writing them down.
So help me God, it was just comedy. I'll show it later. It'll show it later.
Okay, but seriously, go do those 5 elements again.
In video, on a video blog, you've got 5 elements. You've got moving pictures, multiple moving pictures, not a talking head of somebody talking for 5 minutes. Multiple pictures, but pictures. 2, you got narration, on camera or off camera. When you're off camera, there's no lip sync. When you're on camera, it's good if the lips sync to what you're saying. Real good idea.
Unless you're doing a kung fu spoof.
What do I do?
What I say, Mike.
Grasshopper. Yeah, let's go kill them.
You would die.
You would die. Bullet points of text. The Home Shopping Network is a great teacher. They fly out, infomercials that you go to the bathroom, start watching them to get ideas. Because like I said, if you're stealing from us, you're stealing twice. Those bullet points, do it today. Where do you think do it today came from? Infomercials, TV commercials. This Time Life offer is only this way, do it today. Operator standing by. Bullets of text, moving pictures, audio, music for underscoring. Music is a powerful tool. Royalty-free music. AudioAdmaker.com, great place to get royalty-free music. MusicBakery.com, a great place to get royalty-free music. Underscore it. If it's a sad subject, don't put happy music. If it's a happy subject, don't put sad music.
When Mike says underscoring, I would say my take on that would be emotion. Music creates emotion in your videos more than any other single element. I can make you cry over this water bottle with the right text and the right music. The music does it all. Who here saw Star Wars? Do you remember the names of all the lead characters? Okay, maybe. Do you remember the theme music from Star Wars? Absolutely. The music is, to me, the most important part of the video. Absolutely, because it creates the emotion that you want people to have when they watch your video. Absolutely.
This is what you want to aspire to. And of course, the fifth element is sound effects. Hearing the sizzle of the food, hearing the
toilet flush,
the toilet flush of the repair that you're making, whatever. I mean, there's so much you can do with sound design and visual design. When you use those 5 elements, then you're going to be able to communicate so much more information quickly. Because we are a television society, you know, you've got to convey. When they come to your website, you have the opportunity to hold them for so long, and it creates stickiness when they get engaged watching and you explaining. It's show and tell at its best. So the 2 ways we're going to talk about doing video.
Can I make one other comment?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. When you make your first video, do not make it longer than about 2 minutes. You can increase the length as you increase your skill. But if you go long when you first do your videos, there's a good chance you're going to bore people, and if people are bored, they're leaving. If they're laughing, they're listening. If they're bored, they're leaving. Okay?
Okay. So the 2 options is produce it and edit it, and Sony makes a great program for that. There's hundreds of great programs, but we're going to show you the one we use. Produce it in real time with no editing. It's just like with audio. You can either do it in real time with no editing, or you do it and you take time and you build the chunks and layer it and build as compelling television as you can.
Are we going to do both, Mike?
We're going to do both, yes, Jerry. And Jerry, God, I got Jerry on my mind. Yes, Jim. Here's the equipment and the software and why we use it. The reason we pick this is because this is what we know. There's great programs out there, and we're not saying that other programs aren't great. It's just this is what we use, this is what's successful for you, and this is what we're going to demonstrate. So, to do a picture to a computer, you must own a camera. I don't recommend you do a video blog with a webcam. Webcams are on the bottom of the food chain of cameras. The time you get a webcam to look as good as a camcorder, you would about spent the same amount of money that you would buy on getting a cheap camcorder. This is about a $280 Sony camcorder that will probably be discontinued next week, but there'll be one to replace it. I like mini DV cam tapes as opposed to the other formats that are out there, mainly because there's some things you're going to see in a few minutes why it's cool to have it on tape. You got to set that camera on a tripod. Here's a little tripod that you can buy for $12 at all kinds of electronics chains, because you don't want to be holding the camera in your hand when you're trying to shoot it. Now, you cannot buy a computer today that does not have a connection called FireWire. FireWire is what these digital camcorders have a cable that comes out of it, and that's how the computer and the camera can talk to each other. Now, one of the things I discovered is that when the camera is on, it's constantly sending out picture and sound through that FireWire, and your camera can capture it. Now, what it was designed for is that when you're out taking movies at the beach or on your vacation, and you recorded it to the tape in the camera, or whatever format of camera you have, the microphone on the camera is picking up the sound, and the camera is taking the pictures, and and all the shaky cam stuff you're doing, and that's home movies. And through this same FireWire is how you can slurp that movie off that tape and get it into your computer, which can eventually get into your blog. But to do a video blog, I think the first basic thing you do is learn to look at the lens of the camera. You can flip the monitor around to where you can see yourself. You position yourself. And one of the biggest questions I used to get is, how do you light it? And I would say with a light bulb, a bright one preferably. Like that one over there, that's a 600-watt light bulb, and I spent $170 at bhvideophoto.com to order that one. bhphotovideo.com. However, you can go to your Home Depot and get one of those $30 shop lights, and they're ugly and they're hot, but they work. These are a little cooler because they got the little doors on them. That piece of paper over the light's called diffusion paper. It's not wax paper because wax paper would melt, so you get what's called diffusion filters. You can get that at any photo shop. So light, camera, sound. Now, one of the things from the YouTube phenomenon and Google Video and all the places we see people throwing videos up there is that they use the microphone on the camera. And the further you get away from a camera, the worse the sound gets. That's called close miking. And so that was a problem. It's like if you're going to use the microphone and the camera, you're going to have poor audio, because in television, they use close miking techniques, like we're doing right now. This microphone is hanging on my ear, it's close to my mouth. No matter where I go on the stage, the audio will be consistent because the mic is close. Well, you don't need to get this to get started, but what you do need is you need a lavalier microphone. A lavalier microphone is a type of microphone used in television that clips to your shirt, a little bitty thing like this, and this is one of many. This is the one that I use, and I can plug my light snake, see the green light snake, I can plug it in there. So now, the audio going through this lavalier microphone is getting to my computer through the USB port, and the problem was, and I go back to my friend Armin Morin, when you see a problem, make a piece of software to solve it. So I got on rentacoder.com. You'll probably hear about that a lot this weekend, I would say, because this is the info marketing boot camp. It's about making products. Rentacoder.com. You can tell somebody, I want a piece of software that does X. And you tell them, and if you know what you're doing, this should not cost more than $100.
And we're going to teach a lot about that on Sunday.
So someone I don't even remember where this guy was. I think he was in Russia. He said, I can do it for $90. And I said, I want a piece of software that'll pull the picture off of this camera, pull the audio off this good microphone, let me pick the microphone I want, and if I look at the camera with a light on, I can capture my voice in the camera, and that can become a video clip. Now, does that explain it? I don't think I can make it any...
So instead of having to shoot it with your video camera and then worry about how do I get it off the tape of the video camera into the computer, what you're doing is in one step with this software that Mike's about to show you, you're pulling it, you're using the video signal out of your video camera, using the audio signal out of this microphone, and it's slurping it all onto your hard drive immediately so that the instant it's done, it's ready for you to do whatever addition of music and bullets and all that other stuff. It's a major time saver, and it's easy. How easy is it, Mike? We're going to demonstrate right now.
It's dead easy, Jim. Okay, so you can see here it says you select your camera as your video source. I'm selecting my light snake as my audio source. I hit start, and then I have to name it something. I'm going to name it 01 and put it in the same folder. And the minute I hit start, I should position myself to the camera, and I'm going to do a quick video blog. And what am I going to talk about today? I'm going to talk about the benefits of water. Not a great subject, but hey, it'll work. Because one of the things I see people not doing is if you're just sitting here and you're talking and you're talking and you're talking and you're talking, think it's show and tell. Hey, I found water, and let me tell you what you can do with water. You can see the can here, and then I'm just BSing with people here about it. Okay.
And one tip, if you want to keep it under a couple minutes, in a couple minutes you're really only going to cover how many points? 3, 4, 5 points max, don't you think? Yes? Nod your heads. You can take a Post-it note, write down the 5 points that you want to cover, and stick the Post-it note right over here on the side of the camera underneath the little barrel of the camera, so that while you're looking at your little notes, it's forcing you to look down the barrel of the camera so you don't look like you're looking over here while the camera's over here. And that'll help you immediately to have better looking video.
I'm telling you, that was hard to remember because I started looking at the monitor, and just by looking at the monitor to see myself, that's enough eye off to where it looks wrong on television. I mean, in real television, they have a thing called a teleprompter, and a teleprompter is basically the text going through a piece of glass that the camera is shooting through. So when that news guy is reading the news, he's seeing text floating over the lens. And there's ways on the internet, there's people that have come up with the $40 teleprompter, and I've got clients that have actually built that thing. If you take a piece of glass at a 45-degree angle, there's computer programs that will let you do a teleprompter, and you can run it with a remote mouse. I mean, you can get crazy. But you know what? I do it, the way I do mine is, I make 5 points, and I just talk to people. That's what I'm doing now. And if you're going to be in sales and marketing, you got to talk to people. So instead of talking to people, there's my people. They're in that tunnel right there. If I look down the tunnel of that lens, I'm talking to you on my blog. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do a video blog on the benefits of water. I don't know what it's going to be, but it doesn't matter because it's not the content right now, showing you how to do it. When I hit go, hey, it's Mike Stewart, and today I want to tell you about the benefits of water. Now, this is a bottle of water from Deer Park, and it's cold and it's wet. Watch this. Wow. This stuff tastes good, it's low calorie, and you need to click this link right here below me, and I will send you water for only $22 a bottle. It's a deal.
I pulled myself out of that shot. I'll sit back now.
So, yeah, I probably won't get good conversion on that, but hey, you know.
You know, y'all laugh at the $22 a bottle thing, but you ever bought bottled water at the airport?
So, now, that saved it as a video file. Hey, it's Mike Stewart, and today I want to tell you about the benefits of water. Now, this is a bottle of water from Deer Park, and it's cold and it's wet. Watch this. Wow, this stuff tastes good, it's low calorie, and you need to click this link right here below me, and I will send you water for only $22 a bottle. It's a deal. Now, if I wanted to blog that, and that was good enough, we're ready to go, and I'm going to do that, and then we'll go back and we'll do a little post-production, or we'll do something else. We can do whatever we want to.
We can do something else. You can show them how to do an interview.
Okay, we'll do an interview. We'll do an interview. All right, right now, let's say I'm happy with that take. You know, I put a lot of effort into it. I think it's a winner.
At waterblog.com.
Waterisyourfriendblog.com. Hey, if that domain name's getting there. Now, we have a dear friend, and I'm honored that he came here. And I'm going to give him at least a minute because I want people to see him.
Who's the friend?
Yeah, this guy right here. Here he comes. Come on up, buddy.
Who, Tracy?
You don't like?
Whose name's on the banners, Tracy? Hey, give a big hand for Tracy Childers. Have a seat, my friend.
I want you guys to know this guy has been a friend for many, many years, and we've been watching things grow together. And he saw the opportunity that people were going, when the flash video, FLV stands for flash video, and he saw the need to create a piece of software that makes it dead easy to convert what computers make, which is called the AVI video file or MPEG video file. It's what the computer language, it has to be converted to this web-compatible, blog-compatible system. So I just wanted to say, this is the guy that created this software. We didn't create it, but we highly recommend it. We stand behind it, and of course, you can get it at Website Video Secrets and all kinds of other good places.
And I just want to say something, too.
We've been taking the hypnotize. We know how to hypnotize.
Truly to Tracy's credit, before Tracy came out with his software, we were using a piece of software called
Sorensen Squeeze.
Sorensen Squeeze. It was $100, and it didn't do nearly as good a job as Tracy's software. And then Tracy came out with this, and truth be told, there are some free ones out there free softwares that you can use out there to convert to FLV, but they're not as good as Tracy's thing. And I use Tracy's software. Anytime you see me doing FLV, I'm using his software. It's not because he's my friend, but it's because it works.
Well, and I got two other main things, Jim. Mr. Sorensen has yet to call me back. I can get this guy on the phone, and we can discuss how we can help customers. And he pays commissions to you guys if you spread the word about what he's developed here. So that needs to be said. And these corporate software developers, the people that make Camtasia, all of them, none of them get how we should help each other as a community to prosper.
Yeah, that's true. So what's your web address, son?
flvproducer.com.
Very good. Give him a big hand. Did you want to say anything else?
You got anything you want to say?
Did you want to say?
I was going to say one thing is exactly what you said. That piece of software was developed exactly what Mike said. I mean, there was a product out there, Sorensen Squeeze. It's been around for a long time. And everybody I talked to would say the same thing. That's a great piece of software, very complicated to use. So I said, well, how about if we make one, do just as good a job, add some features that one doesn't do, make it look better, and make it drop dead easy to use. And it's been very, very successful since I've released it.
And it's a great piece of software.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
It was really my idea, and he just, you know.
And he did actually make some changes to it based on our suggestions. So that made us feel
And
cool.
there's a lot of great things coming from Tracy. So anyway, I wanted you guys to know he's going to be here a while. You're going to be here tomorrow, Tracy? Okay, well, if you got questions about Flash video, talk to Tracy. Anyway, so I find that wonderful piece of video that I just made.
So right now, the video file that it made is in an AVI format, audio video interlace. It's a high quality video file, but it's also huge. I mean, that one video clip right there is probably close to a gig. And so what this does is it converts the AVI file to an FLV file, which is very small and will stream across the internet.
You can see the green going in here. That's a progress bar. That lets you know. And when we get a check mark, it's going to take what I did in front of the camera and turn it into the format that's compatible with the blog. Okay? So it's click, next, click, next. Okay, what do we have to do with the audio file? We had to get it up on the internet. So now I have to use the blog media uploader because this FLV is media, and I am going to go to I'm going to go upload another file. Who are those guys? Hey, nice looking guys. Here.
Yeah, we do wash these shirts.
Yeah. You do? So once again, I got to remember where I saved it. And there, God almighty, security. So there is the FLV file. It's a little under a meg. So I hit next. I put it on the same blog. I hit next. I tell it where to put it on the blog, just like the audio file. I hit next. And now this is going to take a little longer because video is a lot bigger files than audios. But it's moving along pretty good. So we go back to the admin panel of the blog, which is right here. And we write another post. But this time it's going to be a video blog post. So I'm going to type Mike explains
the nature of water.
The nature of water. And then I go buy some at goodwater.com.
Someone's going to, ooh, is that available?
Did you know, I was watching Conan, and NBC has a rule, if they mention a domain name on the show.
Yeah, the manatee group thing.
Yeah, manatee.
Yeah.
That if it doesn't exist, they have to buy it.
Yeah.
And then now it's become one of the
God help them if they ever let me on any live show on NBC.
So anyway, and they had to build it. Now it's a big. Okay, now the FLV is up on the server. I copy the link, just like in audio. I hit the PodPress box. I paste the link, and PodPress goes, "Oh, you just put a Flash video in me." You see that where it says Flash video? Auto detect, auto detect. Now, one of the things that you can do, and we'll do that on the next piece, is that you can make a still image that shows up on your video, on your little TV set on your blog. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to tell it that the size we use is 320 by 240 pixels. That's dots this way, dots that way.
And that's really the biggest size you should ever make in FLV, 320 by 240. Don't make it any bigger.
You hit publish. It's this. I mean, this is repetition. This is the exact same thing. I have now, what I just did, this is on the internet. This is live. This is the hotel connection. There's a little TV set in my blog. Mike explains the nature of water. It says click to play. And if we got connection here, what's going on?
It's preloading.
Preloading now, okay.
Hey, it's Mike Stewart, and today I want to tell you about the benefits of water. Now, this is a bottle of water from Deer Park, and it's cold and it's wet. Watch this. Wow, this stuff tastes good.
Just
it's
as
low
funny
calorie,
the third
and
time,
you need
Mike.
to click this link.
Yeah, I know, we need. Hey, you want to see if there's good? I'm scared to click on good water.
No. Wow. Now, let's think about what we just saw. Now, we're up here having fun and we're having a good time. But we just recorded a video, converted it to FLV, and uploaded it to the web and played it on a blog in under 10 minutes. Using very simple software, nothing we did up here requires any sort of college degree. Okay? So remember what I told you. Think about how you could do this. What kind of a little 2-minute blog? We could have just, Mike's demonstrating a water bottle, demonstrate a dog toy, demonstrate anything, and just put it up on the web. It was so fast that maybe you missed a little bit of it, so we're going to do it again. But, do you see the power of this? It's your own television station. And if you're talking about stuff that a niche market is really interested in, and showing them things that they're excited about in a way, would you trust, let me ask you a question, and I really want some feedback. Which would you trust more? If you're in a little niche market that is not big corporate America, but it's a niche that you're very interested in, are you going to trust the real slick, $1 million looking ad that looks like it was done by Madison Avenue? Or are you going to trust some person that you see saying, hey, check this out? Which of those is going to have more of an impact on your impression of that product or whatever the topic is? The slick or the real person? In most cases, it's the real person, the authentic person on the video. So don't worry about being, it's like I told Mike, we got a face made for radio. But it doesn't matter. But I hope you guys see how powerful this is to be able to, just like that. And once you've done it a few times, it's even faster. You'll just do it subconsciously.
Okay, this time, let's